What's going on, y'all, and welcome back to another Etheria restart video. We have some patch notes that I actually want to just cover real quickly, so a brief video, but there are some interesting stuff in here that's really good in terms of quality of life, as well as I saw some people a little confused on what they meant by 4x drops. We'll cover that in just a second, but real quick, guys, I saw a lot of y'all very upset with me that I had some recolored skins in Etheria, the chromas essentially, and I think that's because the stance I made over, I want to see more skins and not recolors. Just full transparency, a lot of those skins, I think like 99% of the skins that you guys see me using, they were gifted from some of my Twitch or YouTube viewers. They sent me money and told me to buy it, and I'm not turning down some free stuff. Does that make me a hypocrite? Yes. Does that forgive me for anything that I've said? Heck no. But just so y'all know, that's why I'm running some chromas. It's not really an excuse, just to give y'all a heads up. Yeah, I do hope they add more skins though, not just recolors. Anyways, jumping straight into it, we have here some new patch coming through, and also, guys, I'm going to make a future video just talking about the current state of the game. There's a lot of burnout going on. If anyone that's been tuning into my live streams, I felt a little frustration coming in where previously I was extremely positive and excited about the game. I think there's a lot of stuff that's going on, both that you guys might know of whatever issues are plaguing your experiences, but I think there's just a lot that needs to be discussed. So maybe in a future video, I want to keep it very constructive and positive, but there are definitely some things we need to discuss that I hope the game improves on. Anyways, looking at the patch notes, we have new content here. We have a Arena Realm Battlefield settings feature. We can now set our exclusive contender realm. I think this was kind of previewed before. Is this the right patch? Yeah. This was kind of talked about before. We're just finally getting it now. So we can actually change the backgrounds. And I said in the previous patch note video, this looks pretty cool, like a cyberpunk setting. But honestly, not the biggest deal. Just claim it if you like customizing stuff. Apparently, it's going to be a limited background, so keep that in mind. Next up, guys, speaking of skins, which is why I kind of want to talk to y'all, we have some skins coming through, but this is, of course, for our main character, which I am just not interested in at all. I'm still waiting on for them to bring that unique skin that they promised us in the last dev note update. But yeah, for those of you that like to buy the skins, they're still creating some for the playable characters. Is that number 3? Let's see here. So that's Wishful Sky. And not only that, though, they're saying we're going to enjoy some login rewards. So hopefully there's some good stuff in there. And there's going to be some packs as well. So not only their outfits, guys, for anyone that, is not full free to play, there's going to be some packs additionally. 4, we have Hydra Crystal First Time Double Bonus Reset. All right, another whale pack. And guys, I know a lot of y'all might be a little jaded in terms of, they're bringing out a ton of packs. But keep this in mind that for people that do spend, one of the major kind of like pigeonholes that the game has found itself in, that the devs have found themselves in, and this has been confirmed by some of the CMs of the game, is that right now lattices, which is a big issue. A lot of people want more lattices. I want more lattices. I just want to build more characters, have more fun with the game. That is kind of their main like cash cow. And so until they find some other alternative ways to, have their monetization system filled, which is skins, which is, other packs. Here you see the crystals. They're going to reset that for the whales that want to buy the double time bonus. Essentially what this is, guys, is if you didn't know, if you're full free to play, whenever you buy like crystals in this game and other games, you get like a double first time bonus. So that's all they're resetting. This is very common in other games like Epic 7 too. But yeah, if they have people spending money and other things, then hopefully the idea is that they can then make lattices more, they can be more generous with lattices if they're making more money in other areas. We'll see. This is the big one, though, that I want to spend some time talking about with y'all. We have the Blessings Galore update. So this is once again, right, our monthly 2-time, man, I can't believe it's already a 2x event again. Can y'all believe that? I feel like we just had one. And in fact, I think my stabilizers are not as much as last time. That could be for a few different reasons. But anyways, this is interesting because read right here. It says during the event, players can choose double stamina consumption in the continuous battle page to receive quadruple item drops. So I was actually DM'd a few times about like, some people thought we were just going to be able to get 4x item drops. Just to be clear, guys, this is still just a 2x event. From how it reads, though, it's a little confusing. But essentially what they're saying is that you can opt in to double your rate. So essentially, if a run takes 10 stamina, right, and you get 2x the drops during the Blessings Galore event, now you can spend 20 energy or 20 stamina and we'll get 4x. So you're not getting more stuff during the Blessings Galore. It's still 2x. We'll just be able to complete it 2x as fast. And this is insanely, this is one of the ways that I was hoping that they would improve the speed of, because A lot of times if you're overcapping stability, or let's say you have like 50 to 100 stabilizers, guys, that's like 12, 14, 18 hours, depending on how slow your runs are, to complete all that stability, right? And if this is going to be a monthly thing, which a lot of players want to take advantage of, because once again, thresholds, 2 times drop rates, right? You get all your modules. For people doing investigation and even the outpost prowess, those are a little faster, but essentially if you're farming a lot of modules, it can be very time consuming. So essentially they're going to cut that time in half, and I was hoping they would either do 5 times speed, but actually this might be even better. I didn't even think of this, that they could just increase, we could just use double the stamina. So very nice from Etheria. This may not be the biggest deal to some of y'all, but if you were taking advantage of the 2x event, trust me guys, that's going to be a huge time saver. And I think one of the biggest things that Etheria needs to do is respect our time, the player's time, a little more. Now, last but not least, we do have this, and this was talked about as well in the dev update, but essentially Ember Trek. Let's see here. Speaking of respecting your time, they're going to be adding an auto challenge feature. This feature will record the highest section normal that the player reached in the previous round. After a new round starts, the system will auto challenge up to the recorded highest section. Now, this part was a little confusing to me. Let me know in the comments, guys, if you understand exactly what this means. But I remember in the dev note update, they were saying like essentially normal would be kind of, if you've cleared normal before, they kind of remove it and you just start at hard mode. However, this is the same thing, but it sounds like, is the game gonna auto battle and we have to watch it? Like it's gonna just fight the bosses on auto, or is it the same thing, just fancier words? Like you just pretty much, if you've cleared normal before, you get to just jump straight to hard mode. I'm hoping that's what it is, but either way, this sounds like, you know, it's gonna be a hands-off approach to where once you clear normal one time, next time around you go straight into hard mode, which pretty much cuts the Ember Trek slog in half. Yeah, I think that kind of wraps things up there, guys. But with the 5 times speed added to things like Phantom Theater, to the Union Boss, now we have Ember Trek getting cut down on time. Now we have the 2 times a monthly event being cut down in half as well. They're really listening in terms of, you know, the PvE burnout, the time spent you have to be logged into the game and actively like resetting your runs and just doing the Ember Trek per month. The last thing I think, and let me know here as well, guys, what else do you think that the game needs to kind of save or respect your time a little more on? I've seen some people say Ethernet rally. Me personally, I'm okay with Ethernet only because unlike now with the gear loadouts, I feel like Ethernet is a little bit quicker. I just, you know, I set up my teams one time, whatever they change the elements to, and then I can kind of just, you know, yap with my chat and then just auto battle the teams for the most part. But Ember Trek, there's a lot of walking and backtracking and finding the chests, and then that part to me is a little annoying. But overall, I think some of y'all still want Ethernet. If they add that, that's great. Otherwise, I think there's some good stuff here. Now, one other thing, and I'll probably make a future video, there's still a lot of stuff missing, right? And I mentioned that at the start where, you know, your gripes, your burnout might be because of lack of resources, lattices, economy, reconfig ships, whatever. We'll talk about that on a future update, but I think that this is a good sign in terms of, you know, just saving less time in our chores. And hopefully if they fix PvP balance and maybe give us some lattices eventually with monetization getting better. I feel like Etheria, the core of it is so good. We just need to get a few things right here sooner than later. And I think a lot of players, myself included, will just be more excited and hyped for the game like at launch. That's what I want to go back to. But anyways, that's it, guys. A short video for the patch. And keep tuning in to live streams. I appreciate every single one of y'all for watching. And I'll catch you all in the next one. Peace out, guys.